Hi guys, so today we're going to do a quick tutorial on blueberries, and to start off we're using the brushes Silver Black Velvet in the 4 and the Princeton Neptune in the 8. And for my colors I'm using indigo, blue, just 2 blues for the blueberries, and then for the leaves I'm using yellow, green, and emerald. And these are from St. Petersburg. So I have my water ready, I have my brushes, I have my paper towel ready, and we'll begin. I have gone ahead and drawn a basic drawing of blueberries. I figured since I'm painting on this lovely Canson paper, I figured I could just create a pattern and maybe use it potentially for something else later on. So not just painting without a purpose in mind. So let's begin. To start off, I am going to use the number 4, wet my brush, and I will use I'm just going to double check to make sure which color I'm using. Yes, I'm going to be using the blue, and before I lay it on there, I'm just going to wet this area of the blueberry that I have going on, and I don't want to get the center, which is going to be the darker shade. So I'm just wetting it. I'm leaving some white spaces and being careful not to get to the center. And now I'm just going to go in with the color that I have here and just apply it on there, and you see how it like nicely blends in, but it has that nice flowy kind of cloudy effect. And then once I have that settled, just making sure it's settled in properly, I'm going to go ahead and get my indigo, and then I am just going to add it in the area where it's supposed to be shadowy, so like around there. And I'm determining the shadow because obviously it's closer to these other blueberries, and yeah. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do the center, and I want to leave like a white round area just to kind of indicate the little I don't know what you call it. Someone know the proper name for it, please let me know. But it's like the little dot right in the center of the blueberry. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Sorry. So this is how I would do that, and I'm going to continue and do it for the rest of the blueberries. I would ideally do a few and then make it a time lapse, but I've had a request to have it continue with me just painting regular because it's nicer to see the brush strokes being applied. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for this tutorial. And yeah, continuing. So I'm wetting the area. I'm touching some of the blue so it's kind of blending in, which I like. I already have the dark blue on here, so I'm going to start off with the dark blue for this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some of the other blue without really wiping it off. And again, I'm just applying here. There's no indication of where the center of that blueberry is, so we're just kind of going to leave it as is. All right, and then again, I'm going to do the same thing for this one here. I'm starting off with the dark because it touches these blueberries, so it's indicative of some shadow. So this blueberry, I started applying the color first without wetting it. So you see how it's so solid. Now I'm going to go ahead with my Princeton and apply some water, and then it just drags the color in. So you see how that is happening. It's kind of really nice. I'm going to go ahead and get some of the lighter blue and just apply it as well, so it's like from dark to light. And then finally for the tip or the center, I'm just going to add a very rough line because again, these are loose renditions of a blueberry, so we don't have to be super specific But if you give that impression that, hey, that's where it is, it's perfect. For this one, as it's drying, I'm just gonna try and see if I can add a more frilly kind of touch to that top area. Again, I'm going to do the same method that I did here. So I'm adding some of the dark blue first. And then I'll take my Neptune and then add some water. So I'm just washing off the light blue that I had on here. Taking off some water because it's too much. I'm just going to go all the way around the center. And I want to leave some white space in between too, so it's not too dominating. And you have that nice bright blue of the blueberry seeping in with the dark. I want to give it a nice kind of frilly edge and then leave it as that. And then finally, I'm going to go in with the darker color. And as I mentioned before, just, you can touch some of the edges, that's fine. I just want to keep a rough white outline and just like a white circle on the inside. And then I'll take this brush and just add some water in there. Oh, see, I kind of closed up the white dot that I had there because it's too much water on my brush, but that's okay. As I mentioned, these are loose renditions of the blueberries, so you don't have to have it be super on point. Okay, so moving on. Now I'll just do the greens. For the branches, I'm going to use this emerald kind of green. Nope, that's too bright, so I'll use the regular green. And what I'm going to do is just do the branches first. It's got hints of brown in it too, so if you want to, you can absolutely add some of the brown. I think maybe I will, just because I don't like the bright greens too much. It's not my absolute favorite. So I'm just going to add a hint of some of the brown on there. And then for the leaves, what I'm going to do is I will take my green, my yellow green, and start with that. And I'm just pretty much dragging it on. And then with the same brush, I'm just going to get some of the emerald and add it to the other side of the leaf. Maybe drag the color to the stem area so it's darker there. And now, since I have some of the emerald on here already, I'm just gonna start the next leaf with the emerald. So you can alternate that way and create some nice looking leaves in varied shades. There we go, and just make sure that it's like nice and thin. I mean the tip of your brush as you're painting it, that it's nice and flowy and thin and not too thick. So I'm going to do the others. You can feel free to leave more white space if you wish, because loose painting doesn't have to be super filled up with color, just like the blueberries, right? It's the same thing here. I'm going to drag the color to the center, to the tip, and then have it drag on there. Blend with the, if it is still damp, then it'll blend in nicely. If not, then that's okay. Do some on here too. Carry on. And I'm just going to do this one touching. So now, what I could have also done for this one here is I could have painted this blueberry, and while it was damp, gone ahead and done this leaf, and then had this nice kind of green blending into the blueberry, but I didn't. So it's not going to blend in because the blueberry is already dried. But if you wanted to, you could totally have done that and it would have been a nice effect as well. Actually, you know what? I just noticed there's another blueberry right here. So what I can do is I can still get that blendy effect. I didn't notice that blueberry before. So I'm going to go ahead and firstly just put some water on here. Oh, there's still green on this brush. Oops, still a lot of green on this brush, so making sure I take it all off. Doesn't really matter since we want to blend it, but I'm using the same technique of placing water first, then going in with my dark. And now I'm gonna add the dark here, and ooh, look at that. It's blending in with the green. And now I will my blue and add that on and blend it in. And now I want to do the center, so for the center I'm just gonna dampen it a bit. So I have that little frill top going on. I don't want to get too close to the edges so there's a clear definition. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the center. So once it's damp and then you do the center, it kind of makes it easier for you to, for the colors to blend, because then the water does its thing with the color automatically and you don't have to do too much. You're just kind of out doing the outline and the rest of it is just blending in. So like naturally, so that's perfect. So there we go. These are the blueberries. You can also just kind of go in and make this, fill in the shadows if you wish. Doesn't have to be, but if you wanted to. But yeah, and now you can actually make a nice little blueberry kind of wreath, which is what I was planning to do here. So anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I love hearing from you guys. I love being tagged in your images. And it's just really inspirational for me to know that people actually watch and actually gain something from these tutorials. So that's great, guys. Thanks so much, and we will chat soon. I'm just going to go ahead and paint this. And this I will definitely do as a time lapse, so stay tuned for that. Bye, guys.